The market is loving the crew, and we've been getting all the goods. But is it over? Are we going to bounce? Are we going to continue lower? Let's check it out.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These products.
What's going on, family? My name is Tay Sweat, and I am here to bring you another STB Market Watch. Now, I'm just going to let you know at the beginning of this video, because I know most of y'all don't watch to the end, I got a stock alert in this video. And you're going to have to watch through so you can find the stock alert. But I think this stock alert can make a lot of money. Probably about $15,000, $20,000 profit. I do think that's what's possible, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For those of you all who are new to the channel, who am I, Tay Sweat, and why am I doing this? Well, first of all, I've been trading the markets for about 10 years. I used to be a penny stock trader where we traded, day trading. I didn't like day trading. Why? Because number one, there's not a lot of money in it. I like bigger swings, bigger moves. So going in and taking a 50 cent, move here and there, didn't care for it. So I graduated to more of the large cap world, right? I started trading options, stocks. I got into futures, crypto. I made 7 figures in crypto over the last few years. What else? I mean, anything with a chart, basically, I've done it. So I decided, hey, why not come over here and teach it and at least give a little love out, right? So I do these market watches every day that the market is open, Monday through Friday, and see who I can help, right? So what we try to do here is we try to find the direction of the market. Where is it going? What are potential paths? Because when we deal with predictive indicators, like Elliott wave is one of them, when we deal with predictive indicators, we usually get 2 paths. And the only way to be able to decide whether or not a path is going to play out is to follow a list of rules, right? So I kind of go over that, and we have some fun here. So that being said, what are we talking about today? First of all, I want to dive into the first thing, which is, of course, tracking the market. I like the S&P 500. So we track the ES, which is the futures, because it runs pretty much 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. So that's something that allows us to see where the S&P 500 is going before it actually opens on a day-to-day basis. So that being said, let's check out the chart there, and then I'm going to give my stock alert for another stock that I see some good opportunity. We'll check it out. Let's go. All right, family. So what we see here, of course, is the ES. We have ES, and I like to watch the hour and the 4-hour chart. So with that being said, what I see here, pretty much over the last 4 or 5 days, we've been in this move. Down, we caught this move here. Down, we caught that move. Okay. Now, are we going to continue to just take the stairs down? That's what it looks like, right? Looks like a set of stairs. So we saw this move. I entered somewhere around here because we had long-term support, not long-term support, but let's stop this here. We had support right in this area, right? Support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. We got it back above that same support and got right back below it. And when I saw that, I knew it was game time. So this is kind of like a fake out, or what some people may call a bull, not a bull flag, but some people may call a bull trap, because it's basically showing you that it's support trapping the bulls. People go long right here. It comes back below, resistance, resistance. A lot of people don't pay attention to that and then leak. And a lot of you get caught in stuff like that because you're not paying attention to this. You didn't know that this was support and you didn't see that it was holding resistance, right? Happens. It's an honest mistake, okay? So, it looks like we're taking the stairs, Stair number 1, went down, and stair 2 pretty much took us a big leak. Stair 3, 4, right? And it just looks like it's a stair step. Now, it's doing it again. It's doing it again. Are we going lower? I don't know. Now, the reason why I say I don't know is because, well, I kind of know. Let's talk about it. There are a few potential paths, all right? I personally see that we have an area right in here that we need to come pick up some orders, or there's some orders to pick up. There's a price action that needs to be tested, let's say that. So I honestly could see a run up to 41.26, maybe even higher, as high as maybe like 41.38-ish, somewhere in here. But one of my first targets, if we're going to continue up, as long as the rules don't break, I'll be following the rules. I'll be going in and tracking the rules and things like that. As long as the rules don't break, I can see this thing tick, 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 ticking its way up to about 125-ish, 130-ish area. That's my first path. Just as it ticks its way up, tick, 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 probably pull back somewhere around there, and then boom. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, if it plays out that way. What I am also seeing is if this rule is not followed, or if a rule is broken somewhere in here or here, because we've already had one rule broken. Let's see. Yes, we already had one rule broken. Now, if we break a rule on this track here, what we could call, I would consider that a mono wave. So if we can break a rule on this wave or on this trend, let's call it a trend. If we can break a rule on this trend, y'all know I like my trend lines, all right? If we can break a rule on this trend right here, looks like it's wedging to me. So if we can break it, essentially, I do think we have more room to go down, right? More room to go down. So I'll be looking for potential. If we can't get this path, boom, 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 break it here, hold, and then take this out. If we can't get that path, then what I may be looking for is here, boom, 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 break it, hold, bing, right? Where can we go? I'm looking at, still got a price target down there at about 40, as high as 40.55, as low as 40.20, right? And then I need to see what we're going to do down there, because if another rule gets broken or a support level gets broken, this is the beauty about trading. You have to continue to follow the chart, because people want, and I get unreasonable people who don't know about the market. They'll come in and say, well, you said this price and it kept going, or you said this price and it stopped short of it. You have to always pay attention to the market. I can't be 100% spot on these targets, because this is not, it's not governed by any one person, right? It's governed by buyers and sellers. And buyers and sellers don't go to the T or the tick. It's like, oh, hey, he said 40.50, 40.55. The buyers or the sellers are going to stop right at 40.55. No, sometimes the sellers get greedy and they're like, no, keep selling it. Beep, 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 beep. And they'll keep selling that thing and they'll blow through a support, right? We've seen it happen with resistance. So I told you we had a path here, and I think we can get in here. Guess what? It might not stop. It should be some sellers there, because look at this stream of sellers. It should be some sellers in this area because of this big candle right here. But guess what? Sometimes them sellers step out the way because the buyers are so strong. They'll blow through this thing, come back, hold it as support, take it higher, right? I've seen it happen. It's just part of the game. It's part of the game. So for me, once again, I track, there are price targets, rough price targets, but you have to go in and first of all, you need to know the rules. The education of this thing is super important. You need to know the rules to this stuff. You need to know how to identify it. You need to know the lingo. You need to know this stuff, right? Which is why I've always been a fan of having somebody teach me the rules, teach me the lingo, because I don't understand it, right? And once I did that, and I had someone teach me over 11 years ago, when I had someone teach me, then it started to make more sense. And then as I went through and back tested and showed, watched the charts and looked through all this stuff, it made more and more and more and more sense. And I got more conviction that I could say, hey, I back tested this thing for years, right? I tell my students, my STB folks, especially in the VIP, my STB VIP students, I always tell you, I say, hey, what I'm teaching you, yeah, that's great and all, but go back and back test the last 3 crashes, the last 5 crashes, and see, why did it need to crash? Where was it going? And why? And did it stop there, right? And then do the opposite, do it on the bull market, right? And what you tend to find out is you'll find, if you do the right studies and you know what you're looking for, you'll find out why it fell. And you'll find out that we weren't in a crash because, yes, the economy had this whole thing, but you could have saw it coming if you just knew how to read the chart, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. right? In trading, we just want to be more right more often than we are wrong. That is it. So it's not going to be a perfect thing 100%, but if you can get 70, 80%, God, you could be rich. You could be really rich. And that's the game. Be 70, 80% right. Shit, if you can even get 60% right, 60% right, and then every time you're wrong, you know you're wrong, so you have very small losses. And every time you're right, your wins are bigger than your losses. You win, right? And this is another reason why I don't day trade, right? And speaking of with day trading, you want to make sure, or with trading period, you want to make sure people don't get you off of your square. There are going to be areas of, you're going to be doing good. Maybe you have something that's working for you. Maybe you've been doing something for a while, and you're going to tell somebody about it, right? And you're going to have someone try to get you off your square. It always happens, right? I have a troll that follows me on YouTube, and whoever this troll is a fan, because this MFer watches every video, pretty much the whole video, and then trolls. And I'm like, great, right? And what I'm getting at is this one person is like, hey, show us some day trading, some live day trading. I'm like, I got a hell of a system going on, swing trading, and you want me to mess up, to stop what I got going. Hey, I know you're making money, but we want to see your day trade. It's like, who the heck do I have to prove to, right? Like, I'm making money over here. Why would I stop doing what I'm doing so I could do something, right? Getting you off your square. It happens. So you have to be very, and I wanted to use that as a learning experience for a lot of you all, because people are going to try to get you off your square. If you have something that's working, do not divert from your plan, right? Don't, right? And that's where you get into dealing with the ego. Because see, my ego, I know how to day trade. My ego wants to say, let's get it. Then I'm like, why would I stop that? It's similar to think about, I like to say this, and then I'm going to get back to it. But these are the lessons for trading, though. That's why I have to talk about this. These are the lessons for profitable traders. Think about this. I'm married, right? And, my wife is gorgeous. Everybody thinks she's a supermodel. And anyway, think if I had some guys, who were like friends or homeboys or just people who were on the outside looking in. And, let's say I'm gloating and I'm like, I'm the man, women love me. Now think if somebody on the outside says, well, shit, if you the man, prove it. Yeah, you got you one, but maybe that was luck. Go on out here and see if you can get another one. See if you can go see what you can pull out here. Let me see if you really are the man like you say you the man. Show us. The first thing I do is like, wait. So you want me to mess up my marriage? You want me to mess up what I got going on? My great life that I have going on? So I could prove to you that I can go get another woman? So I could prove to you that I'm the man and I can get women like I say I can? This is the exact same thing, and it happens every day. I know men out there falling for stuff just like that. And I'm saying this because you're going to have family members, you're going to have people trying to do the same thing to you inside of your trading, right? They're going to say, if you're so good, do it this way then. And you're going to go and try to figure it out, or you're going to actually, maybe you might be good, and you might go over there and figure it out and play into their thing, but you're probably going to mess up what you got going on, or it's just going to take you off your focus, which getting off your focus is never a good thing. So once again, there are going to be people, whether it's a troll, family member, friends, whatever, they are going to try to get you off your square. Stay focused. Find your trading plan, what it is you do, swing trade, long term, whatever it is, stick right there, especially once you get it working, right? So I'm done. I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I had to share that because I know a lot of people go through stuff like that, and it ends up ruining people's lives because they get off focus, okay? So getting back into it, once again, I'll be looking for this move to kind of continue up, or if we break this low of this support low, I'd like to see us kind of go down. So we'll probably come here, boom, and then we'll continue low. All right, so that's what we have for the ES. Let's get into what I actually have to show you all for today. All right, family. So now we're getting into my little treat that I want to kind of give out today. What we saw, if you're in the STB Discord, like the paid Discord, where we have all the AI and everything, if you're in that Discord, you have seen and you looked into the inside sellers, you have seen over, I say, almost $100 million, maybe even more, sold, more than $100 million worth of shares sold in Eli Lilly, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you just run over there and you short it. It's not how this game goes. And as a matter of fact, this is a pretty risky trade. Why? Because it's at all-time highs, and this thing can continue. It can continue up. It can continue up. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. All-time highs. That, I mean, it doesn't have a ceiling on it. It just keeps going up. That's one of the things. One of the characteristics of an all-time high. Now, the only way that we can actually go in and say, hey, I think it's okay to start, looking to short is when we start seeing the wave, the predictive indicators playing out, right? And what I've already, I've kind of tracked it already, and I've gone through and I've looked at these, this predictive indicator, right? And I've kind of, drawn it out. 1, 2, of course. So wave 3 usually has 5 waves. We're not going to get into that. But you would go, so 1, 2, and then the wave 3 would be 1, 2, probably 3 right in there, 4, 5 would give you wave 3, wave 4, and then it looks like we're starting this wave 5 here, right? So that being said, we may be finishing up soon. Now this thing could continue up a little bit more. It could. I could see that happening. And then we can get an A, B, C. Now, that being said, what I like to do also is kind of connect my dots, right? And let's see if we can connect some dots, right? So I like this, and you see it's breaking out, but we've seen from history that when it breaks out, it always comes back, right? People doubted me for years on Bitcoin, and then it came right back to that channel, and we made a lot of money on that down move, okay? So anyway, this is what I'm kind of seeing with Lilly. Now, because I see it starting to fizzle out, what I want to actually give as a stock alert, right? What I actually want to give as a stock alert, and this is just as a treat. Yesterday, I told my folks in the actual newsletter section, the newsletter for the Discord. I told them, I said, hey, if we get 200 people to hit the fire emoji, I'll go live tonight. Well, we didn't hit 200 in time, and I probably should have sent it earlier. I only gave like maybe an hour or two, so I'm sure people didn't see it. But we didn't hit the 200, but I was like, well, we hit like 150, 160. I was like, you know what? Let me give some game out. Let me give something, let me give something away, right? Let's do something special. So this is going to be one of the alerts that I want to do just to kind of give something back. Now, this is going to be a hedge. This is going to be a hedge to protect you, okay? I would want to do, and honestly, it's probably going to need to be averaged in, but it should pay for itself. What I'd want to see on Lilly is puts for maybe, as far as you can. I think we have 2025, January 2025. So puts for January 2025, right? That gives us, close to 2 years, right? Close to 2 years, maybe like a year and, a few months, but close to 2 years for us to play this out, right? So the first contract that I would personally want to alert for this will be maybe like a put, right? I like that. Now, what I also see is, we have some pretty significant gaps in here. I don't know if I would want to hold it for, 170, 166. I don't know if we want to hold it for that, but I do like this area right in here. I'd like to try to take out this low, right? So if we can get a move down, I do think we're going to try to come somewhere and take out this low, okay? And it could be as low as this and as high as here, right? So I'd like that low. So that's a $200 move or 150-ish dollar move, which, like I said, that's about, if we play it right, that should be about $15,000 profit, close to it, especially depending on the time that it gets down there. So if we can get down there, it might be able to get us, 15K. I think that'd be a nice little move down. The second contract that I would suggest buying with this put contract would probably be, will be a call, right? Short-term call, maybe 6 months out, right? Short-term call, 6 months out. Let me see how much that would be. So let's see, 6 months would give us, what is it? This is May. They only have January 2024. So January 2024 on the calls, side. Yeah, that should be enough time. The reason why I would do that is because if this thing wants to continue to run, continue to run. And what I would actually look to do is if it wants to continue to run, boom, 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 boom. Let's say you put 5K into one, 5K into the other, right? If it continues to run up and you make, I would want to make 5K on this going up. So then my puts they're taken care of. So now I got a year to just wait. Like, okay, we'll wait a year and some months. Okay, if it does it, cool. If not, whatever. But literally, while we wait, we've been paid to wait, right? Or at least it's been covered. So if this thing wants to continue up and do something nuts, do your thing, right? It's hedged. This is one of the ways we hedge in STB. And then guess what? If let's just say, hey, it stopped right where you called it, and it fell right to that $200 range or $280, and it brings $10,000-$15,000. Well, guess what? The 5K that you put into calls to hedge your puts, you make that back too. So you're covered. It's kind of like covering, and I know as easy as it sounds, people mess it up. People mess it up, right? It's hard, especially if people don't know this stuff. They don't know where it's going. They're impatient, whatever it is. People mess it up. But this is one of those things that I can't say it's a risk-free trade. I can't guarantee that, but it's a very low-risk trade, and this is how we hedge. This is how I've played the game for a while, and this is why I like swing trading. Now, this is a much longer swing than what I play or what I do, but I'm calling this just simply because I think for the average person who's like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm impatient. I don't have time to study. I got work to do. I have a family to take care of. I got kids, whatever it may be. This is one of those trades of like, well, guess what? You don't need to spend a lot of time with this, baby. You good, right? So this is just one of those things that I'm giving as a treat, right? As a treat, as a thank you for sticking around and watching. I may do things like this more often. And we'll have fun with it, right? Now I do have to say this because a lot of people are going. I just know how people are, right? I have to be very responsible when I do stuff like this, right? I know how people are. Please do not put anything that you can't afford to lose into this. I'll see people risk their rent money and put their child up for sale. Like, don't do any of that stupid stuff, right? These are things. I remember the story about red bottom money I told you all about. Red bottom money. What does that mean? Simply, hey, if I was going to buy a new watch or something for $10,000, right? I'm just giving an example. And I wanted to say, hey, I can buy a new watch for $10,000, or I could just, buy some calls and some puts on this play and hedge my play and see if I can make more money, right? See if I can make $10,000 to buy the watch and get my money back. Because that's how I play the game. Then I would do that. Right? I was going to spend it anyway, so if I lose it, whatever, right? I mean, losing all of it in this type of hedge, it's pretty much like, I can't say impossible, but pretty tough to do that. Because, I mean, in 6 months, if this thing just keeps going, you'll make so much money, like your puts will be covered, right? So, once again, please be responsible, right? Please be responsible with this. Do not put anything into this that you can't afford to put into it, right? You can't afford to lose. Also, with that being said, just remember, right? All of this stuff is high probability trading, right? It's high probability trading. I get people all the time who expect these crazy type of things. Like everything needs to be right 100% of the time. You cannot do that, all right? It's not going to be right 100% of the time. So just know that as long as you have those things, right, you're good. That's my disclaimer, right? I'm not responsible for any of that. I just wanted to give a treat. You're going to push the button? Cool, do your thing. All I can do is my analysis and tell you what I'm seeing. If you want to push that button, do your thing, baby. That's my treat to you. All right? With that being said, I think we can wrap this thing up, but I just wanted to give that little treat. If you don't want to track it, or excuse me, if you don't want to put money in, or maybe you don't have the money for that specific play, that's totally fine. It's not always that expensive. But my people are like, hey, I only got $2,000, man. Do not buy a cheaper contract so it can fit your budget. Do not do that. I've seen people do that, and that's stupid. You need time, and you're buying yourself time. This is not that AI. People, let me say this. I don't want to go on a tangent, but I just have to say this. I see people a lot of times, they treat the stock market like they do the grocery store, right? So if you want, I don't know, the name brand, whatever, and you can't afford the name brand, you go get the off brand because this is what my budget can afford. You cannot do that in the stock market, right? And this is where most people lose. So I have to say this. Most people lose because they say, I can't afford that. But Tay did say it's going to fall, so I can afford the 3-month contract. So I'm going to do 3 months. And then that thing just goes. If you cannot buy exactly what I told you, looks like a good hedge, don't touch it. Do not touch it. It's okay, right? What I'd rather you do, track it. Track it. And we'll keep up with it. I'll keep up with it for you. Maybe every now and then we'll go in and look at it, but we'll track it. And I might even add it. I may add it to the portfolio, the public portfolio, and we'll track it. We'll track it. That's something I'm looking. We may be able to do something like that. But nonetheless, I just have to say that please do not buy things to fit your budget. Track it, see what it does, and over the year, it may not even take a year. Say 6 months, but maybe a year. Over the year, we'll track it and we'll say, okay, damn, Tay, remember that Lilly play you called? That was solid, right? And I just like to showcase these skills to show you how this stuff works, okay? Because if you can get an insight into it and see that it works, you can actually go, man, that man is it's a bad man right there, right? Honestly, family, as we wrap up, that's one of the reasons why I like to do this stuff as well, because I like to show what's possible. I like to show what's possible, especially, for someone who shares my image. I like to show what's possible, show, I'm not just athlete or, you can look like this and actually have brains and know how to use them, right? But not only that, there are many other things that you can do or that I can do and show you. And you can say, man, like, he's not just a fake guru online. This guy actually does this stuff in real life. And that, for me, means the world. I love that, right? Because I want to expose all of the fake gurus, and not really expose them, because I'm not into like messy stuff. But if I could just provide information and provide things, I know this is what I do. This is show you some insider stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't show my whole toolbox. Can't do that. But I'm gonna give you some tools. Like, there you go. Here's what's working. Here's, this is what we do. This works. This works. That works. Look, watch it work. If I could show you that, then you can actually look at the other gurus that are coming out or trying to get you to buy different things. You can say, show us your skills. This guy been over here every day that the market's open. This guy shows us his skills, right? That's what I want to be able to do, because now we can you can compare and say, okay, this guy is showing the skills. This guy, he's not showing the skills, to the public, but he wants you to pay him. Maybe he doesn't have the skills. And that I think is what's going to help this, not just the market, but help equalize pretty much most of the I don't want to cuss, but most of the craziness going on, right? It's going to allow us to weed out anybody who's capped. So this has been another market watch. I love doing this stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started, because I want to go talk to my STB folks, see what they got going on. Make sure we win today, close out a good week. So love you all. I'll see you next week, actually. So today's Friday, so I need to see you Monday. All right. Enjoy your weekend.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.